Hey, we're not going to eat paper towel rollers, dummy.
All right. Well, it's Tuesday, and apparently we're not going to eat paper towel rolls.
He's
Um,
got so many other toys. Like he's got a bone, he's got a little dragon. Eat your dragon, here's your bone.
that
Fucking
that is
eat one of those goddamn things, not the fucking paper towel roll.
well, that's the
Hey,
intro for the show. So nailed
fuck's
it. Thanks,
sakes.
Trevor.
You're welcome. Glad I can help, as always.
Yeah. No, that was perfect.
This
Not a
is
better way
this
to
is
start the
Gold
show.
Horns and Fight Songs, and we're gonna teach you how to
Scold the dog.
um
Oh,
yes.
oh, there'd be some more scolding. If we were really getting into scolding tonight, he's had a fucking day. Let me fucking tell you.
Yeah. No, this is Gold Horns and Fight Songs. You'll notice that there is my normal co-host is missing. He's decided trivia was more important than a makeup day yesterday. It's Wednesday, not Tuesday. And my basement decided to try and flood itself, so that's why there was no show yesterday. But I have two awesome guests. Joining me once again is the first and former president of the Lost and Lunatics, Mr. Mike Shotzley, and a making another appearance. I'm not sure what number we're at anymore. I was going to try to figure it out, but
Yeah, I
no,
think we've lost count.
we've lost count. Pro goaltender, still with the Wichita Thunder, one
Yeah.
of two Thunder teams in the ECHL. Trevor Gorsuch. So welcome back to the show, fellas.
Yeah.
Oh, another year under your belt in the pros. You know,
Yeah. Another year of just abuse.
you made it. You were a big part of the playoff push for the
Yeah.
Thunder, which, not to be mean, came up kind of dismally in the first round.
Oh God,
Um,
there's so much went wrong there.
could you guys have allowed more goals to? What was it? A team in their first year in the ECHL, right? Right. This was
Yeah.
Tulsa's.
Yeah, and not to
Or not
sound
Tulsa.
too cliche and whatever, but not only I'll take full responsibility for how my team played as well, but good God, the officiating could not have been any worse when it comes to an expansion team in their first year, they make the playoffs, and there's no better way than the league wants to see them succeed and not move out of the first round. And I mean, it was
Yeah.
it was asinine, like some of the calls. I mean, in game one, I got called for a tripping penalty. When I made the save, the puck hits me in the pad, goes to the corner, and my stick is extended after I made the save. The guy skates across in front of the crease like I'm slightly out of the blue paint, like I'm barely out of the crease because it was an odd angle and I just slid straight across, made the save. He skates across, trips over my stick, and I get a tripping penalty. And I go and I ask the ref, I go, how was that a trip? And he goes, well, you tripped him. I go, I made the save and he skated across my stick. And he goes, well, you still tripped him. You were out of your crease. I go, did you just want me to let them fucking score? I go, what did you want me to do? And then he told me to shut the fuck up. And I was like, okay, so I can see how this is going to go.
Oh, so you had the referees that are the models for EASHL on
Yeah, oh,
the
yeah, 100%.
NHL 2025 video game.
Oh,
Yeah.
God. We got called
Ugh.
for the overtime penalty that we then ended up losing on the penalty kill in game 3. One of our better players makes a great defensive play, full headlong dive, reaches out and around him, gets all puck, doesn't even touch the guy. And as he's getting up, the guy skates instead of turning this way towards the puck, he turns this way towards the boards, towards my teammate's stick, stumbles over it, and we get a tripping penalty.
What? Oh, that's so dumb.
And that's how we ended up on the penalty kill and outshot in overtime 11-1 in game 3.
Yeah,
That
there
total
was.
game, we were outshot 65-36.
Yeah, I was gonna say there was some lopsided numbers for sure in that series.
Yeah. So, and what makes that one even more frustrating is we had the game won with 7 seconds left in the third period. 7 seconds left. We're in our zone, 6-on-5. We're battling like crazy. And all my guys got to do is just chip it out into the neutral zone. Just chip it out, kill the last 7 seconds. But instead, we go for the empty net, miss, and they get a face-off with 1.7 seconds left. Perfect face-off play right to the D-man. One-timer through 1,000 bodies. Guy deflects it just off the side of the net past me. to tie the game with 0.3 seconds left.
I think Western had a couple of those. The 6-on-5 was not Western's strong suit this year.
It's a weird play and a weird situation because you hardly ever practice it. And I, in a sense, I don't understand why. Because again, yeah, there's a lot more scoring nowadays, but at the same time, games have never been closer, you know?
Well, I mean,
Like,
the thing that I noticed this year is like teams are pulling a lot sooner.
oh yeah,
And
that mindset of pull with like whatever you want to call it, pull with like a minute and a half, 2 minutes left, like is
if you're
gone.
down, yeah, if you're down 1, like they're pulling like 2 minutes left. If you're down 2,
Oh.
3, they're pulling like 5 minutes left in the game.
Oh, yeah.
and hoping to get, like, I guess, like, to me, it
I
makes
was yelling at my television yesterday when Dallas pulled with
Ottinger.
yeah, like 4 minutes left.
I guess to
Yeah.
some
Like
degree,
you're not
like, it
going to
makes
keep it away
sense
from McDavid for 4 minutes.
to pull a little bit earlier. Like, you're like, okay, cool. I think a lot of coaches like, we're not playing to tie, we're playing to win. So if we get to tie earlier in the period, now we still have X amount of time to win the game instead of go to overtime and only get, in college, you only get 1 point or, get the 1 extra point.
Yeah, exactly.
So to me, like, I guess like the sense of pulling sooner does make a little bit of sense, and I started picking that up. But like, yeah, no, there's teams pulling like 3-4 goals down.
Oh.
I think, I mean, even in the national title game, BU pulled when it was 4-2, 5-2, like both times.
Yeah.
So, and then the game ended up being 6-2, and it looks a lot more lopsided than it could have
Yeah,
or should have.
exactly. Well, that's like when I was still there and we won that Vegas tournament and we won like 4-1 or something like that, the final game. And really it was a 2-1 game.
Yeah.
But they pulled their goalie with like 4 minutes left, and then we scored the empty netter, and then we were up 2, and then they pulled him again and we scored another empty netter. So it was just like it looked like we beat him bad, but like we only beat him 2-1.
Yeah, that was a fun tournament.
It was a fun tournament. I wish it would have gotten more. I wish they would have done more promoting of it, like they've done in more recent years when they go out there and they have that Vegas tournament.
I don't even think
Because
they do the tournament anymore. They had the one game, they had the one-off game with North Dakota and ASU 2 years ago. That was the Hall of Fame, the U.S. Hockey Hall of Fame game.
yeah, I feel like there was one more, at least another year, maybe it was the next year that they did it again.
Yeah, I think they did 3 total, and we played the middle one.
Yeah, and did we play the middle one? I felt
Yeah.
like we were the first one.
I'm pretty sure you guys were the second one.
Mm. I can't remember, but I just remember watching the next year, and there were way more like people in the crowd and like the stands, and it wasn't just like, okay, you have the families and friends of the one team, you have the families and friends of the other team, and that's about it.
Oh, are they bringing it back?
First to West, we're over here.
I'm looking at the Ice Vegas thing, and it looked like they might be coming back.
No.
I know they're going to play games in Vegas next year.
So yeah, it went 3 years, 18, 19, and 20. Arizona State won it the first year. It was ASU, Michigan Tech, Northern, and Boston College.
Okay, then it was us.
Then it was Western, Air Force, Connecticut, and St. Lawrence. That was you that you played and won it, and were the MVP of the tournament. 2020, just throwing that out there. No big deal.
Oh, okay.
Providence, Cornell, Ohio State, and Army were the last year. So COVID kind of, messed everything up,
Yeah, that would
as
make
it does.
sense.
But it looked like they might be bringing it back this year. No, they would
Nice.
have already done it this year.
It might be next year then.
Well, it says January 17th through the 20th, 2025. So I don't understand what the hell's happening. Maybe this was for something else. It wasn't college related. Oh, it was kids. That's what it is. Itty bitty little people. Okay.
Just little babies.
Yeah. So no, they got rid of it after 3 years. It was it was a fun tournament. I think it was cool for
Yeah.
the opportunity to go out there and do what it was. But so, and there's so many, but at the same time, there's not a lot of tournaments in college hockey anymore.
Yeah.
The GLI is the long running holiday one. the Bean Pot, which is all Boston.
Hmm.
The Icebreaker tournament at the beginning of the year. The Shillelagh tournament didn't last too long. That Notre
No,
Dame
that
was
Notre
hosting.
Dame. God, yeah. I still have nightmares of that tournament.
So, as you should.
Well, I didn't play in any of those games. I was just there. I think the last time we were even invited was my freshman year, and I only remember playing or our Western playing against Notre Dame in the finals, and Jade McMullen and I both being healthy scratched, and both of us sharing a flask with the idea of every time a goal is scored, we'll take a pull, and then Notre Dame just decided to little boy us, and I love him to death. Hafner gave up some in the first. He got pulled. Olson went in for the second. He gave up more. He got pulled. Hafner went back in the third with about 7 minutes left to go in the game. Jade and I are buckled, and we're sitting in the stairwell to go down to the locker room, just still hearing the goal horns and everything. We're like just taking pulls. And then we go into the locker room, both of us just pissed drunk, and we're trying to act like we're not drunk because we just got pounded. And yeah. And that was when Tom Askey then came up to me at the urinal as I'm trying to act sober to tell me that I'm probably going to start the next week. And then the next week is when I made my first college start.
Nice.
But it was just the fact that like I was at the urinal and he comes up next to me and he's like, "Yeah, that was pretty fucking bad, wasn't it?" And I was like,
Yep.
Wasn't good. Just trying to keep it real simple. And he goes, "Yeah, Andy and I were talking. We're thinking you're going to go next week." I was next week, and I'm like, "Okay, sure, yeah."
Can you remind me again of this conversation on Monday or Tuesday?
Yeah, can we talk about this again? Time where I remember it.
Yeah. Good times.
Oh,
you
man.
had another Bronco join you this year there in Wichita for a little bit. Luke Granger
Yeah,
made
yeah.
his ECHL debut.
Yeah. We had Grange for a bit.
How was it?
It was
Hanging out
good.
with Granger.
It was
Watching him
good.
play?
He was my road roomie for a couple trips. One of those being when we were watching we watched Western's tournament NCAA the tournament wins to move to the finals.
Okay, the regional.
We watched, I think we were, the regional. I couldn't remember the term, but yeah, we were up in Rapid City and we were sitting there in the hotel watching those games.
Oh, not too far.
No, yeah, well, yeah, because they were playing in
Fargo.
North Dakota, weren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Other
Old
Mike made the
Shields.
trip over.
Yeah. Well, he made the joke of he was gonna, if they made the national championship, he said he was gonna call sick and like say he was sick and like fly to St. Louis to watch the game. And then they made it. And then we were all like looking at him like, you better fucking play today, because if you don't, some of us have a little bit of dirt on you to be like, I think he's faking.
I was in New Orleans during the finals.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shook my baby like the Stanley Cup on the middle of a New Orleans street when they scored the overtime goal to go to the final game, the national title game.
Nice.
She'll not remember that, thankfully. She's only 2.
Yeah, that's probably for the best.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But hey, she's a good representation of probably what it would be like to hold a Stanley Cup. A little lighter, though.
Yeah.
She's only 22 pounds, not 35. About as tall as it, though.
I was going to say, she's probably a little smaller.
Probably closer to a national championship trophy.
That
only weighs about 8 pounds or 10 pounds.
Weight-wise, yeah, a little bit. But height-wise, she's a good Stanley Cup height. What?
So, I don't know. I was trying to remember how I was like, Stanley Cup's pretty.
It's like
pretty tall.
39 inches.
Mm-hmm.
Great. See, this is what we do. We're proving that the internet has ruined every good bar discussion.
Why?
Because I can just Google it. An end of discussion.
How big
That
is
was
Stanley
like
Cup?
35 pounds or something like that.
It weighs 35 pounds. 35.25 inches. Oh, see, it's not even 3 feet. She's like 32 34 inches, 33 inches. What the hell was she measured at today? Oh, she didn't tell us. She's like 33 inches.
Well, okay, which is good. I mean, she's taller than it, but thankfully she's not as wide as it.
Well, you mean, no. We had to go see a nutritionist because she's a little on the light side for children her age, apparently. I don't. Whatever.
Slacking, Wes.
I'm not slacking nothing. She's the one who just won't eat real food. So I have to make her egg and cheese with extra butter and with half and half instead of milk and the normal amount of butter to try and fatten her up a little bit. So,
As you do.
Yeah, because, doctors don't really look at the individual. They look at you compared to the rest of the population and they go, well, you're on the smaller side. Cool. Not everyone needs to be on the other side.
Yeah, and I guess everybody doesn't need to be 10% body fat to play hockey too.
Yeah.
Andy Murray.
I mean, sure, it is what it is.
4 years of that bullshit.
I still think my favorite is when you served your punishment and then on your own and then reserved your punishment.
Oh God. I'm so bad. So bad.
So would you like to hear this story, Mike?
I would love to hear this story again.
All right. So my sophomore year, it's the first tailgate of the year. And we're getting a little tuned up at the tailgate.
This is what, 2014, 15?
I think 15, 16.
15, 16?
I like the dramatic zoom that your iPod did on you trying to figure out what year it was.
Dude, I don't know why it does that.
I don't either, but it was
like,
great.
It like moves in and out. I can't stop it. I don't know how to turn it off. I mean, but anyway, so
great cinema.
We were sitting there and getting pretty tuned up at the tailgate. And this is when we were all going to get our Letterman jackets for our freshman year.
Yeah. Yep.
And you go out on the football field and you do all that. And yeah, well, I was not a big beer drinker at the time. So I was drinking ciders with like Fireball.
Oh, Angry Balls.
Ooh. Yeah, I was drinking those. Just
Angry Orchard and Fireball.
And I did that. I brought a 6-pack of ciders and Fireball. So I was like, I'm good, like after this. And then near the time, like where we had to go down to the football field, this random girl stumbles up to me.
As they do.
Hands me a handle of Captain Morgan, a handle of Captain Morgan, and goes, shot for shot, no face, no chase. I'm like, I don't know what that means. She goes, we're both, I'll take a pull, and if I can't make a face, like, or whatever, and there's no chaser. If I make a face, I got to take another drink. I'm like, this sounds like a really stupid game. And she's like, it's fun. I was like, okay. So we're doing this. This was a full handle. By the time I get dragged away to go get my Letterman jacket and everything, it's down to like this much left of the handle.
Ooh.
And I'm now absolutely in the bag. I am so far fucked. It's bad. So we get our Letterman jacket. All the boys try to go to the bathroom to pull trig to try to sober up a little bit. I can't. So I'm like, all right, I'm good. I got this. Like I got a Gatorade and a water from the little the thing in the practice field. I'm like, I'm good. I'm like talking to myself, I'm good. And they're like, all right, guys, we're gonna get a picture of all the athletes from above. Like, and so we start to get in, and this girl like goes, you're crowding me, pushes on my stomach, and I'm like, instant, like I'm gonna go. So I bail into the practice field where I know there's a trash can right around the corner, because football practice, like, they yak if they have to. So I know there's one there. I think I make it. I spilled a little on the floor leading into the practice field. I'm still feeling I'm good. Like I made sure I'm clean. I got a little on my shirt, but I buttoned up my Letterman jacket. Nobody can see. I'm good. I am good. I have no idea that another girl slipped on it. And then it became known that then somebody saw me and ratted me out. Now, what is a little known fact, and I don't remember if I told this the last time, but I found this out when somebody said, I heard you tell that story, and I forgot to tell you. As we're standing there, some of the cheerleaders were walking by, And there was this one girl that is kind of seeing one of our guys on her team, but then she kind of fucked him over. And so we all hated her. And she's standing right in front of me. And I started to say something about like just call her something. I don't even know. But what came out was like a little bit of spittle throw up, like a baby, like with a down the back, like a little bit, like landed on the back of her uniform. She didn't notice. I'm now sitting there laughing and like, I'm not going to tell her. So the worst part is we're also hammered. We didn't hear the order we were going to be in on the field when we get announced to step out and give our little wave of, hey, it's me. I'm Trevor on the hockey team. So we're just in a jumbled order. So I'm sitting there and I try to, me being the, let's be cognizant. Let's think about this. I'm like, all right, boys, it's got to be alphabetical. Like we got to go alphabetical. So we get in kind of an alphabetical line. Seems to be working.
I'm guessing it
about
was
the-
numerical.
No, it's even worse. So hold on. You're jumping ahead to the story here. So I'm about the third guy. I'm thinking it's gotta be alphabetical. So I'm ready. They announce the first two. It's perfect. I step out with a big give a high like a wave. It's not me. So now me on the Jumbotron, you can see me going, okay, it's got to be numerical. So then I back up, move some spots over, and try to squeeze in. Coming down the line, everything seems to be going okay. I step out again when I think it's my turn. 0 for 2. It was forwards, defenseman, goalie. I was the only goalie in the class at the time because Will hadn't really officially joined and wasn't getting. I mean, he had, but he hadn't gotten a Letterman jacket. So I was the last one. Now everybody's laughing because I again have now backed up and moved to the end of the line. So I then step out with both hands, like, yeah, it's my turn. After the game, come to find out, somebody snitched on me. So I get suspended from the team. Andy's like, not sure how long it's going to be. You could be kicked off the team. We're gonna see. Like this is a pretty big embarrassment kind of thing. Like we're gonna kind of go through this. And I'm like, oh my God, I just got kicked off the team. Like I'm done. Like how do I even tell my parents? Didn't tell my parents till after the fact. And so I was living at the time with Jade McMullen, Corey Schooneman, and Ike Capelli. Well, they're telling me that they're having to do 6 a.m. baggers and punishments for a week straight because of our embarrassment on the football field. So like the first day they split up the team into 2 teams and they took like the battle ropes and they ran ring road in opposite direction as an Indian race where the last guy had to run to the front and then he was the pace setter and he had to do that all the way around ring road back to Lawson. And then the losing team had another punishment. So the next day, I don't have a battle rope, but I looked up how much a battle rope weighed and it was like 25 pounds. So I like had a scale. I got my backpack. I filled my backpack with about 25 pounds of books, strapped my backpack to my chest, and I ran ring road twice the next day at 6 a.m. because after they told me. So I went out and did my own punishment. So then the next day they were like, we had to swim laps in the pool. And then I'm like, okay, well, I can't go to the Lawson to swim laps, so I got to go to the whatever pool. And it was all these, like, it was a week straight of 6 a.m. punishments. Well, after the week, Andy calls me in, says that I'm going to get reinstated on the team. I'm not kicked off. But my punishment, in me telling him I'm taking full responsibility, I told him I've done all these punishments after I had them telling me about them so that I could go do them and, still do them kind of like vicariously with the team, taking, accountability for my actions. Andy's like, that's great and all. You're going to do them again with me. So for a week straight, I'm doing these punishments at 6 a.m. with Andy Murray before going to practice, before going to work out, anything. So there I and well, it's immediately after the meeting, he has me running horseshoes around Lawson. So far wall, back, down the stairs, up the stairs, far wall to the next set of stairs, down the stairs, up the stairs, all the way until I get all the way around every stairs. That was day one punishment. So I had to do all the punishments all over again with Andy watching me. And then after that, I had to go have personal meetings with the AD at the time, which I cannot remember her name right now.
Kathy Beauregard.
I hate
Kathy.
her. I hate her guts. I hope she watches and she can hear me say this. Hate her. So I had to do that. Also, she made me go do a month of AA. I had to go to a month of AA meetings and get a 1 month sober chip. And when I did that and I finally came back and I'm like, basically, are we done? Or is all forgiven? Blah, blah, blah. She looks at me and goes, you can continue to be on the team, but you are the worst student athlete that has ever come through Western. And in my head, I'm going, feel like that's a lie. Like, and also because I'm like, I know Colton Hargrove, who got arrested because of a bar fight and then it was in the cop car, bailed out of the cop car, and then they found him the next day in the campus court pool, and they were like, "Hey, you're Colton Hargrove," and he's like, "No," and then they arrested him again. I'm like, I know a few. I'm like, I know a few other guys that have gotten in bigger trouble than I did, and I'm like, I'm the worst student athlete ever to come through Western.
That seems
Well,
hyperbolic.
Well, God must have been looking down on me that day and gone, I'm going to give the boy a gift. Because 3 days later was when the basketball player shot and killed his drug dealer for like $200 and like that half ounce of weed. And he went to jail for murder.
I remember that one.
It was 3 days after she said I was the worst student athlete to ever come through. I don't see Kathy for like 3 months. Like she doesn't come anywhere near me. When she finally comes to the rink and she's talking to the guys and she's still giving me mean mug looks, I kind of, Mrs. Beauregard, can I talk to you for a second? I have no fear at this point because I'm like, fuck you, bitch.
Am I still the worst?
I chase her down. I go, she goes, what is it? She goes, what is it, Trevor? And I go, I just have one question. And she's like kind of waiting. I was like, am I still the worst student athlete to ever come through Western or did I lose that title? And she just looks at me and goes, get out of my sight. I was like, okay, good. Hey, I just want to double check. And then I kind of like trotted away.
Oh, man.
I was like, am I still the worst or did I lose that title to him?
Someone else take
think you
the
might-
crown?
Well,
Yeah, I
at
was
this
like,
point,
it's-
I think you're down to number, what, 4 or 5 at least?
Do we have
Yeah,
an address I can ship this to?
I was like, I feel like I've moved down on that list a few times.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was I almost got kicked off the team story. And like I said, didn't tell my parents until I was back on the team. So I'm lying over the phone. They're like, how was practice? I'm like, practice was great. Doing a lot of good stuff, there's like I am bullshitting my way talking to them because I'm not about to be like, I might get kicked off the team. I might not be playing college hockey anymore. And I'm lying through my teeth. And then finally they came up for a visit like shortly after. And I was like, I got to tell you guys something. And they were like, what? I was like, I was almost kicked off the team. And they were like, what? I was like, yeah. Remember the tailgate and all that? And they were like, yeah. And I was like, yeah, I got a little banged up and had some issues that I had to go through. And they were like, oh my God. They were like, why didn't you just tell us? I was like, because I was terrified to tell you.
So dumb.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
only student athletes get into that much trouble for doing something that every other student on campus does.
Oh yeah, but again, that's because we're held to a higher standard and we're this. And it's like we're also students. Like we're normal people.
Yeah. But
And it's
every
not like you
interview
care-
is
not
we,
like you
we
ke-
try to get
Not like you gave a shit about our hockey team anyway, the years I was there. You gave our money away to the football team, and then you gave everything else to them. So I mean, everybody, again, honestly, this is a point. Everybody upset that they're building a new arena and not going to be at Lawson anymore. You got nobody to blame except your former athletic director in the school that took the money that was meant for to renovate Lawson and gave it to the
Oh, yeah.
football team to go to the Cotton Bowl.
Yeah.
You have nobody to blame but your own school for doing that. And now they're sitting there going, okay, yeah, we love Lawson, but we need to upgrade. We need to whatever to continue to get, these top players to not go to some of these other schools and so on and so forth. Like, I get it. It sucks because I love Lawson. That place was still one of my favorite places ever to play.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see
Well,
what the new building does and how it works out.
Yeah.
But for sure, I mean, I'm somewhere in the
well,
middle.
you'll be pleasant to hear that football got a new field, and it didn't come from hockey. So
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
new
We
turf.
didn't take the money from the hockey team.
no,
Wow. It's crazy. You win a national championship and you start getting a little notice on your name.
yeah, some football alumni came through and gave $5 million to the football team to
Get his name
put
on
new
the
turf.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow. That's like the story of the Ralph. That story is nuts.
Yeah. That
And the
one's
reason why that building is so nice, because Ralph Engelstad was a former player at North Dakota and he wanted to donate like $5 or $6 million to build a new arena. And the university was like, yeah, you can't donate all that money just to the hockey team. Like some will go to the hockey team and then the rest will get dispersed. He's like, no, that's not what I want. I want it all to go to the hockey team. And they were like, well, we can't let you do that. So he's like, well, they need a new arena. And he goes, what if I build the arena and like buy this land that's like near the university and I build the arena? And they were like, yeah, you can do that. And they were like, any money that you don't spend on the arena will go to other teams. So he was like, bet.
Hmm.
So then he spent like $10 million or whatever and put marble floor and gold inlay and forged section signs. And like he went so far over budget just to stick it to the university, be like, suck it. You're going to get the new arena and it's going to be all paid from me.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
there's the history of that dude and his other activities are interesting.
Yeah.
So, and he's quoted. I think he's quoted as saying, "Like I'm going to put so many Indian heads in here that will be financially irresponsible to try and remove them all."
Yes. I think that's somewhere around there, like the quote he made.
Yeah. So,
And then now they had to change their name to the Fighting Hawks because I guess Sue is an irresponsible name to have at this time of the year.
And that one, as not politically correct as what I'm about to say, is they're like the Sioux Nation was like, well, it makes us look bad because it makes it sound like all we did was fight. And I'm sitting there going, that is all you did. Like, I don't know if you know this, but like that was your people's whole history was fighting.
yeah. I mean,
You and the Comanches were the two biggest, like, okay, we're going to fuck up everybody.
yeah. I mean, it's beyond my ability to understand. I don't get it. I mean, I get it but I don't at the same time. Like,
Yeah, exactly. I mean, nothing will ever be more intimidating than my first or my second career start in North Dakota. And I'm waiting for them to say, welcome to the ice. Your starting lineup for your, North Dakota fighting. And he might as well have just taken his mouth away from the mic and said Hawks.
Oh yeah.
Because then the entire arena just yells Sioux. And I went, oh, this is where I am. Okay.
they like their hockey here.
Yeah, they do not care.
No. But I guess like it's the weird disproportionate punishments that have occurred for it. So, North Dakota loses their name. Central Michigan has to be Central Michigan University Chippewas. Like you can't just say Chippewas. They had to get rid. They had to change their logo to the poker chip looking thing.
Yep.
Florida State stays the Seminoles with their chief head, and they got the dude who rides out on the field, who I believe is a representative of the tribe and plants the spear in the middle of the field.
You still got the Blackhawks. You got
Blackhawks.
the Braves.
Yep.
Yep.
Now I did hear a rumor that the Cleveland Guardians might be going back to being the Cleveland Indians
I have heard that one. They got rid of Chief
because
Wahoo before they switched the name.
because hey, because the history of that one was the guy that owned the team was Native American,
Yeah.
and he
Um,
brought Native American players like of Native American like descent to play for his team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then at
I
the same
also
time, you
heard
get, the Fighting Irish are allowed to continue to be the Fighting Irish, which I don't know if it's any less or more derogatory than
well,
Fighting
the Irish
Sioux.
don't give a shit.
Well, yeah.
They don't get their feelings hurt. What else? Yeah. There's all sorts of them.
So how closely did you follow the season this year? Or was it not
The
till-
Westerns,
Yeah. Or was it not
I
till
would
kind of the end
peek
of the
in
year?
every once in a while. I would peek in, just kind of see how the boys were doing. Um, I follow on Instagram and stuff, so I'd see the, their postings continually moving up the rankings. It's a little different because like I still keep up with it, but I don't keep super up with it like I did like the first few years after I graduated, where I still had friends and guys that were there and knew the guys that were there, and now I'm like, I know none of these guys. Like I know nobody that's there, so it's like it's less personal. It's more like alumni pride where I like kind of check in like once a month or so and just kind of like, yeah, how are the guys doing? Oh, good. They're top of the NCHC or whatever. And oh, both goalies are up there in Richter Award voting and so on and so forth. So it's like cool. And check in on that stuff, but just kind of to see where everybody's at. I didn't really start kind of honing in till it got closer to the tournament. And then I was kind of like, all right, I'll keep closer tabs on this and be watching a little more.
Yeah, no, it was an interesting year. And I think really the only thing that hurt either of them at having a chance at winning some of the end of the year awards was just that they both played really well for 75% of the season.
Yeah.
Like Hampton couldn't 100% take over the net, and Cam couldn't 100% keep Hampton out of the net because you knew he was going to get playing time with being the future goalie of the program.
Yeah.
And the clear successor to him, they weren't going to keep him away from it. But
no.
But Cam did a great job of holding on to it for as long as he did. I think they would have moved to Hampton sooner if Cam had really fallen at any point.
Had slowed off or
I mean, he had 15-2. That was his record by the time he loses the net to give Hampton the opportunity to really stake it as his going into this year. And then Hampton gets in there and plays incredible. The team plays really good defense around him. I mean, he gives up some goals, but they find ways to win games, and now they're national champion. The kid won everything this year other than, anything that he was a part of, he won.
Yeah.
I mean, him and Bouillon are the first players to win the World Juniors and Men's World Championship gold medal since the U.S. hasn't won a World Championship medal since 1930 or something.
Yeah, it's actually stupid how long it's been since they won.
Yeah, so Hampton, I believe, is the first player to win a conference championship, a conference tournament championship, a World Juniors gold medal, the national title, and a World Championship gold medal in the same season.
And in the previous year, he wins the Clark Cup.
Yeah, and the year before going to Western, he wins the Clark Cup. Like, it's stupid. Just
guy's a winner.
That's a career resume, and the kid did it in 13 months.
Yeah.
It's
insane.
So it'll be interesting to see how he does his sophomore year, taking over in the main responsibility. And I think he'll be fine. I mean, he seems to play under control and within himself more than a lot of goalies we've seen come through. So it really just kind of depends on how the defense in front of him plays, if they can keep that playing well. And Western seems to be in a good spot. They moved to the new arena in a couple seasons. So those who want to come see and experience Lawson should do so here soon.
Yeah.
But no, they've gotten quite a bit of recognition here lately.
Yeah, it's good. It's great for the program and great for the school. I mean, we'd say it all the time when I was there that like Western is a hockey school. Like, yeah, we have other sports, but we're a hockey school. And just everybody was like, well, you got your football team. And I was like, we play in the Maction. Like, I'm not trying to shit on it too much, but like, you could handpick any play from a Maction game and play the circus clown music, and it fits. Just randomly scrub through any Maction game and just go play, and then play the circus music of like the and it fits right over the top because you're like, what am I watching? Like, is this football or are we just moving the ball randomly?
I mean, and to be fair, like they're not going to win a national title in football.
No.
Was it? And it was probably, if it was going to happen, it was more likely to happen pre-transfer portal, pre-NIL. There's not a chance in hell a MAC school is winning a national title anytime soon, or a Power Five or a Group of Five team. Like, even Boise State's not going to do it, and they might have been the best school to attempt to do it when they had Kellen Moore and went like 53-3 or whatever in his career.
Exactly.
Winning bowl games on Statue of Liberty plays. But soccer, hockey, baseball to an extent, like those are teams where small schools can compete. And we've seen small schools win national titles. Quinnipiac did it not that long ago. Denver's done it more than any team in the country with 10. Was it Lake Superior State has one? Western now has one. I think Colorado College has a national title to their credit back in the day.
Yep.
Like, the programs from smaller schools where they're competing week in and week out with bigger schools or all these schools really give them the opportunity to be able to win national titles and put their school on the map. And it was only a matter of time, it felt like, before it was going to be Western's turn. And I think they surprised a lot of people doing it this year. They were kind of written off a little bit at the beginning of the year.
Yeah. I was I'm not gonna lie, I didn't watch the regional championship game. I couldn't watch. I couldn't bring myself to do it. Because I had watched the previous 2 years. So I'd watched the 2 years ago where they lost in the first game, or wasn't it that they lost in the regional?
Yeah, they lost to BU 2 years ago, and then last year to Michigan State, and they had that game freaking won.
Yeah, and I couldn't do it. I couldn't watch because I watched those games and I watched them lose. So I was like, nope, we're not gonna watch this one. I'm just gonna kind of periodically check in because I may not be with the team, but like the hockey superstitions kind of live of like, okay, it didn't work for when I was watching. We're gonna not watch and see if it works out. And then it worked out. We had a game the night of the national championship, so I couldn't watch that one. But I was like, we're okay.
I was on a plane flying back like 4 minutes behind the rest of the world and the internet, watching that game on a monitor on the seat in front of me as the dude like puts his reclined his seat back, so I'm like in this weird like scrunched position trying to watch this game, and then freaking out every time we scored and like shaking the plane a little bit, like,
Fuck yeah, we scored.
Captain's like, that's not turbulence, that's just Wes.
Yeah. It's just some
Cheering
dude
for
who needs to
Western.
settle down back in the.
That's just passenger in 12D shaking the plane.
I
Don't
wish I'd
worry.
been in 12. I was in like 33.
Oh, it's cry me a river. Some of the travel I've had to do, like this year when we randomly do fly, you're on a flight that you're like, all right, we're on Southwest and you're boarding group D. Didn't know there was a boarding group D for Southwest, but we found it. And it's like, all right, guys, it's gonna be a full flight. So you see a middle seat, take it. So there I am taking the middle seat in the back row next to the shitter and just like can't recline, no leg space. I'm like, I want to die. I want to die.
See, I get on the
I'm
plane
gonna-
nice and early because I have a 2-year-old. We have to set up her car seat on the plane, but then we have to deal with a 2-year-old the whole flight. And then I'm one of
Yeah.
those people who, like, if I can't get off the plane when we land, I'm just gonna wait and let everybody else off the plane because I don't want to poke you in the back of the head with a car seat because the people behind me have somewhere to be that's more important than wherever the hell I'm trying to be, and I'm sick of them
Oh,
my
yeah.
ass. So I'll just let everybody else get off the plane, and then people are looking at you like from a few rows back, like, you getting off yet? Like, nope, just go. Please get out of my way. Everybody off the plane, and then I
Yep.
can get through with the car seat. Yeah.
My favorites too. Everybody like I get the okay, hey, I have a connecting flight I need to get to. Okay, sure.
Yeah.
That makes sense. But everybody else that's just like, oh, I gotta get off. And it's like, we're all going to the terminal.
You gotta wait
We-
for your bags.
Yeah. I was like,
So we were coming back from Baltimore last year because my wife went to another work conference. We stayed across the street, right across the street from Camden Yard. So I went to a random Orioles game for like $17 the day before we left by myself. Got a hot dog and a hat, which was more expensive than my ticket. I ended up with a bobblehead of some random Baltimore Orioles fan that apparently is a big deal there. So I have that in my closet. Where was I going?
I don't know.
Oh yeah, so we're on the way back, and our flight got delayed somehow. So we're gonna miss our flight from Detroit to Grand Rapids. Yet somehow our bags got off the plane that we were on in Baltimore, on the plane to Grand Rapids, and I could not. And since Mary's family lives near Detroit, Mary and the baby just got a ride from Mary's brother home. So, and I then flew to Grand Rapids to get the car, the bag, the luggage, and go home.
Oh God.
And had to wait like
Uh,
7 hours for the next flight out of Detroit, and watch the terminal get changed 3 times, and take the
Yeah.
trolley back and forth down the damn terminal.
Yep. We had one this year where we got to the airport at 5 a.m. for supposed to be a 7 a.m. flight. We get on the plane. We're sitting there for like half an hour, and the pilot comes on and says, hey, we seem to be having a problem with the water line, getting water into the bathroom for the toilets and the sink and everything. So we're trying to figure that out. We're trying to get a technician down here. Shouldn't be that much longer. We're like, okay. So we're sitting there still and we're waiting. We're waiting. Finally, the pilot comes back on after a little bit and goes, don't worry, I fixed it. We're like, what'd you do? He goes, the main cabin door wasn't fully closed. We sat there for almost an hour because the main cabin door wasn't closed. And I'm sitting here then going, you're telling me this multi-million-dollar piece of godlike machinery that can fly me through the air doesn't have a sensor or a little bell that any piece of shit car has when the doors open and it's like ding, 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 letting you know a car door's open. So then we sit there and we're like, okay, we're gonna get off soon. They're like, yeah, we're gonna get defrosted. We're gonna get right on. Defrosting truck breaks down. So we have to deplane and then wait another 2 hours at the airport, at the Wichita airport, which is really small. It's about the same size as the Grand Rapids airport. Another 2 hours for the next flight. And the problem with that is we were so late on that flight that we were all like middle seats crammed in, whatever. But then we only had about 7 minutes to get from one gate to the next gate to catch our flight to wherever we were going.
That's the worst.
And not everybody was going to be on the same plane. There was going to be 3 guys that didn't make the second flight. They had to be on a later flight, and they were flying. They had to fly from where we landed to Arizona to then up to where we were. And the worst part was it was the championship game of the 4 Nations. So they missed the entire championship game of the 4 Nations because they were in the air flying from like wherever, Phoenix, coming in from Phoenix, and we were just like getting in at like 10:30 at night.
Jesus. Dude, you guys travel like your luggage.
Yep.
Fun fact for those who don't know, just because if you check a bag, that bag may or may not be on the same aircraft that you are on. The only thing that is possibly guaranteed is that it'll be at your final destination, and even that's not always accurate because sometimes they lose shit.
That's why whenever I fly and I don't need to bring my hockey bag, I try to bring just a carry-on of clothes. And then if they go, hey, we're going to take this and check this at the gate, perfect. Because I know that fucker's getting on the plane because it's going right from the end of like the walkway, going right down to the bottom of the plane.
And they will bring it right back to you at their walkway.
And they bring it
sometimes.
right back to me as soon as I get up there.
Yep, that's what I like to do too, if I have to. But yeah, oh, aviation fact for you. I learned that on Dirty Jobs
Mm,
with Mike Rowe, because that was a great show back in the day.
that was a great show.
Miss that show. So how's the life of a Lawson Ice Arena employee, Shotsley?
Oh, it's great. It's
Ice
just
is-
great.
Ice
We
is back in.
I spent a whole week putting that in.
Mhm.
64 hours of my life I'll never get back.
Nope. I know the pain. I know the pain, Mike.
And the rank kept breaking. So
Mm.
that was great.
Like the ice kept breaking or the compressors were
The compressors
yeah.
would just shut off.
Mm.
No compressors, you know.
Yeah,
Found out it
that
was
kind of sounds like Lawson a little bit.
yeah. Yep. So
Yeah.
that happened.
Who is the Zamboni driver now?
Kevin Boot.
Okay, so they did get rid of like Lonnie or whatever his name was.
Lonnie retired.
Oh darn.
Who was? No, I think it was the one before that.
Paul Schneider, he retired too.
Yeah, I love Schneids. That's who I got I did my summer internship with there, and then I did the same job the next summer after I graduated. So I did it between my junior and senior year, and then I did it after senior year. Schneid didn't give a fuck, and I loved it.
I think
He and I would go
pass
and
away like not soon after retiring.
the one that was like the Zamboni driver before Lonnie. He retired and then he died like 2 years later.
The one I think he used to throw candy to the student section. I think
Yes.
he was the
Yeah.
one when I was there. He's the one that was
He was the one the only
the
reason I
last
remember is I
Zamboni
think
driver
he
that got to
retired.
drive guests around on the ice because the student section fucked that up.
Yep. I think he was I think he retired after my freshman year because I remember he was wearing a tuxedo on senior night because he was retiring.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes. That dude was
Yep.
he was something special. Yeah, it sucked. He retired and then like it seemed like literally like
Yeah,
not
it was
even
like a
that long
year or
after
two later.
the news was out that he had passed away and it sucked. Like that dude was so cool.
Yeah,
Definitely enjoyed his job for sure.
Yeah, I had to work with Lonnie for 2 summers, and that was like pulling teeth. The amount of times that I watched Lonnie almost cut off his fingers trying to take off the blade of the Zamboni were
Oh
astronomical.
God.
Astronomical.
I just let Kevin do that one. He's got it under control. I don't need to go near that blade.
You want to know something funny? Or what's funny is watching Mike try and teach the like youth hockey players how to shovel the ice because you know they do that way more now. It's like
Yeah.
hurting. It's like hurting cats. He's trying to tell them like fan out, and then you just watch them stack right behind each other, and none of the ice gets shoveled, and you can just tell Mike.
I'm just like I'm just going down the ice. I'm just like looking behind me, and I'm like, go that way, and they're just like one right behind the other.
The figure skaters aren't much better, to be fair.
Well, yeah, because figure skaters aren't that bright. I can say that I dated one for a while.
I knew one of them for a while.
Yeah, they're not the sharpest tools in the shed.
Fun fact: the one that I knew later became a Kalamazoo cop.
Oh,
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. That was. I got a story for you that's we could tell off air. That's rather. You're like that person made it. Yeah, that one made it through somehow. But
you just wanted to become a cop to try to just become like hunt down her ex-boyfriends, give them tickets and shit.
maybe I mean she was a nice enough person, not the smartest by any stretch of the imagination. There may have been drinking involved, but I got her to believe that Todd was spelt Roger.
Mm.
And she was like, "How do you spell Todd or something?" And I was like, Rodger, and she had to type it out first, and then goes, "That's Roger." Like, yes, it is. Congratulations. I don't know how you didn't realize that was nothing like Todd when I started spelling this. So I may not have been always the nicest to her. She also described how to use a water bottle. So you know when the filtered water bottles came out,
Yeah.
you had to,
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
the ones where you had to squeeze it to push it through the carbon filter. Like I literally had one, and the only reason I asked if I could have a drink of her water was because I knew you don't put your mouth on it. I was like, oh, this is perfectly clean because you just hold it away from your face and squirt the water.
Yeah.
You know, she's like, you have to squirt it. I'm like, I know, I have this exact same bottle. No, you don't understand. You don't suck on it. You have to squirt it. I know, I have the exact same bottle. Also, would not have asked if I knew your face was touching this. So, strike two. Stop it. We had this thing. She would say something, and I could not help but make a face of just like, is that really the sentence that you wanted to put into the world? So it became known as that person face. Anytime
Mm.
anytime it happened, and then everyone was like, don't give me that face. And I was like, well, don't say anything that stupid. And I won't.
Don't give me a reason to look at you like that.
Exactly. So, yeah. No,
You're saying some stupid shit right now. Oh, damn it.
the amount of stupid
You're sounding like what's her
outweighing
name?
everything else. But yeah.
But
watching Mike try to
yeah.
herd the small children is top-notch entertainment during intermissions or during breaks in play.
Now I let my coworker do that.
Dude, I swear to God, still not the funniest thing that you can see at Lawson, not hockey player related, is when Puckboy eats it.
Oh,
There is nothing funnier than a small child completely turtled in a puck outfit, especially if they're face down and just stuck to the ice. And then watching someone in a horse outfit try and help said kid, knowing that they can probably only see about this much of the world through that helmet.
Yep.
Is just magic every time it happens. I'm not lying. I will pray for Puckboy to eat it.
That happened. What was that? This year it happened. Puckboy just full face down onto the ice. I was like, Buster, I've got this, and I just picked him right up.
Oh, dude, no. When they oh man, so they had Puckboy because they don't do it every game anymore, right? It's not like it's not like a set thing. Back in our day, in the olden times,
yeah, I was like,
Puckboy was every third period, and around Christmas time, if a student get a puck, there's no Santa chance after Puckboy was done. So this may have played into why they don't do it every time. But they had Puckboy suited up and ready to go, and Buster just machine guns the pucks. Didn't even notice that Puckboy was on the ice, throws the last one, and then goes, oh.
That happened this year. Yeah. That was, yeah.
Oh, that's incredible.
But just watching that dude, whoever's in that stupid outfit, just go, oh. Because he just machine gunned all three of them.
We had Puckboy ready to go, and Buster comes out of the team tunnel. Puckboy comes out of the visiting team tunnel, the corner, and Buster just skates right over to the student section. He gets them going. One puck gone. Skates across the ice.
Puckboy's at
two pucks gone.
The dot closest to the door, and there's already two pucks gone.
The other puck just turns around. Puckboy's right there, and it's like, oh no.
That's awesome. Oh, I love that.
I was like, oh man, just ruined that whole kid's day. Like it was
you're gonna get to go out and throw a puck, buddy.
You just ruined that kid's previous week and the next week for him at school. He was like, I want to be Puckboy, and then every kid who went, like, dude, you didn't get to throw anything. Chris, then when they also like slam them right into the glass a foot above their head is also just top-notch entertainment to you. And why are you picking such small human beings, giving them the suit that they clearly cannot wear, telling them to throw something, and their arm can only get this high because there's that pole like right there, and they're like,
Well, now it's even worse now because it used to be that Puckboy had the special pucks. Yeah. You just turn the puck in.
Yeah.
Well, now we tape gift cards to the pucks.
Right.
So the gift card has to stay attached to the puck. We use regular office tape.
Oh
to
my
stick.
god.
So he hits the glass, and
It
you're just
falls off
praying.
immediately.
But you're just praying, don't fall off.
Yeah.
And of course, it always does. So then you're trying to stick office tape back onto a wet puck now.
Yeah.
It's the worst.
Yep.
Just
Just do a little clear tape. Just-
uh,
I know there's enough clear tape in the locker room. Just go snag a few rolls and
oh,
use
yeah.
clear hockey tape. It'll be fine.
So much fun. Just man, there's so many fun things that happen at ice arenas that are not in the middle of games that are just fantastic.
Oh, my favorite is always just the little kids 3-on-3 or the little kid playing,
Oh yeah.
and they're just so bad, and it's just
Oh.
so entertaining. And it's always like it's truly out of like the South Park episode. Like there's the kid that's about to score on the empty net, and then he runs out of time or he face plants, and everybody's like, "Oh my god, we're gonna see a goal," and then nothing.
Mm-hmm. Or there's
Yeah, they haven't-
there's the one kid who knows what he's doing and will score 6.
Oh yeah,
And just
Oh, yeah.
bullies everybody, like checks them off of the puck. It's like, no, I'm taking this. This is my time to shine. Your time was practiced 3 weeks ago.
They haven't done the little kids in
Been a while.
I don't
yeah.
know,
Couple
3 years now.
Yeah. Something like that. But no, they just let him come and
Mm.
shovel the ice terribly. It's
Yeah.
leave giant divots of snow across. It's like,
We try to get the athletic department to let us just hire students to do that. They see no need for it, so
well, now they're. I mean, I don't know why they don't. Now it's what sponsored, isn't it? Now
Yeah.
it's the whoever ice crew that pays
It's-
money to.
some construction company.
Yeah. I mean,
who knows?
it's some like some points it does seem like they're doing a lot more to get sponsorship and get things done. Like Dan seems to have done a good part of that, or a good push in that direction, as opposed to what it used to be, where like you're hoping and praying that things are not going to fall apart going into the arena.
Yeah,
Well, as I told Trevor the one time, like the popcorn got burnt and the fire alarm goes off like 3 times. And by the 3rd time, the student section's just, because they're like, if this goes off again, we're going to have to clear the arena. And the student section over there singing, "We will not be moved." Like,
Yep.
like just play the game.
What else did they say? Like, it was like also the song like "Let the Motherfucker Burn."
Yeah, that one went too.
I was like, what was that one? I'm trying to remember.
I think there was like a
Oh.
similar. I think it might have been like the 2nd time it went off, or maybe it was the second.
Yeah,
Because I know it goes off a couple times, and I think the second one is the roof is on fire,
yep,
and the student sections let it burn, and then when it happened again, or like right after that announcement, if this goes off again, we're gonna have to clear the student section or clear the arena or whatever, and then that's when the student section was like, "We will not be moved. Just play the damn game." Yeah, almost 1,000 students just spontaneously breaking out into a 1960s civil rights song in the middle of a game was fantastic.
Yeah.
The creativity of some of the people in that section is top tier, and then other people could not catch on if they were waiting for a bus to pull up.
oh yeah,
Oh, yeah. Or the notorious people who think that it's fun to just wait for, Denver, who is usually top 5 in the country every year. And then as soon as we have a lead, they like to chant overrated. And
Yeah.
Denver seems to magically score 2 goals right afterwards.
I do remember. I used to like we were beating somebody my senior year that was like pretty top. It was Duluth. It was Duluth. We were beating Duluth late in the game, and it was the weekend that like my senior year we beat them game 1, and then we won in a shootout game 2. And game 1 we're winning late, and they like start chanting overrated, and I'm just like looking at the student sections like, will you
Please shut
the
up.
fuck up?
Shut
I was
up.
like, we don't need to piss them off and make them to play better. Like we're playing well, they're playing okay. We don't need them to start playing good.
Was that the game that I think it was Pascal scored with like 10 seconds left. Because I know
No.
he does it again.
Conrad.
Oh yeah.
Bolt did.
Yeah.
Bolt scored with like
Yeah.
10 seconds left.
I was gonna say because I'm pretty sure that was Duluth, and like Duluth was right up there, like number 1 or number 2 in the country, maybe 3. They're like
Yeah,
1, 2, or
'cause
3
that-
in the country, and
They
I
were
think Western
2.
had been winning the entire game.
We were winning 2-1. We start chanting overrated. Then they tie it up, and I'm like,
Yeah, and
what are we
then
doing?
Yep.
miraculously score, and he like sneaks it
Yep.
past. I think he might have bounced it off the goalie's mask at like top corner. Like he finds the smallest spot to put the puck. And it
Yeah,
was like 9.8 seconds left or whatever, and the building
It was
just
stupid.
nuts. I think I was watching. Was I watching that one on NCHC TV? I don't know if I was in the building for that game.
The
Yeah.
only team I ever recommend chanting overrated at is Miami.
oh yeah,
That's
Just-
because no matter where they're rated, they're overrated. Especially in the
Yeah.
last 10 years. They're so bad. God, they're
We'll be
so
putting up
bad.
8 goals on them, and overrated.
9 years. 9 years. They were still good my
Us.
freshman year.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah,
I was like doing the math. I was like, no, they were still good my freshman year.
and then
It
they
was
just
after
fell
that
off
that
a
they
cliff.
after my freshman year they fell off.
Once they fired, I mean, I guess Rico Blasi did have a couple bad years at the end of his tenure, but as soon
Yeah.
as they let him go, it was just straight in the shit.
Yeah, that went straight down the cliff.
Was it? Is it next year? Yeah, not this season. Next season, he comes back to the NCHC as the head coach of St. Thomas.
Yep.
Oh,
So imagine, dude, I can't wait for that first series of St. Thomas at Miami, and Rico Blasi brings his new team in there, and if they're still struggling,
oh God, that's gonna be just brutal.
just beats them. Be fantastic for him, but
Yeah,
yeah, I don't know, man. I want Miami to be good just because I want everybody in the conference to be good because it makes everybody better.
yeah,
And then it's, you have less of like, because that was kind of the knock on Western this year, which I mean, really, what else are you going to point out was just like, oh, they play Miami 4 times a year. Like, yeah, and sorry, they're the closest team to us. Like, what do you want from us?
yeah. It's also
Well,
conference.
Yeah.
Like,
but we also played BC too, so it's
Yeah.
and Michigan.
Yeah, but I mean, those teams are clearly not Miami. But I mean, at one point,
Yeah.
that was, yeah, but they played Western 4 times a year back in when Western was not so great.
yeah. I mean, on the
It
other
comes in
side,
cycles.
I was like on the other side, it could be like our schedule. Like not this past year, but the year before, we played Kansas City, who ended up going all the way to the finals and losing 2 years ago. I think we played them 16 times.
Well, dude, the ECHL schedule is so weird. You guys are like buttoned into these little regions,
I know,
and
but,
there's
like,
no
it was-
interplay between them. And
it
then you
was
get to the finals,
crazy.
and then like you're flying back and forth from like
Yeah.
Florida to
Yeah.
Oregon or Lake Tahoe now, whatever.
Well, think about this. The finals this year are Toledo versus Trois Rivières, because Trois Rivières beat the hell out of Florida in Game 6.
Yeah, I just
So
saw
they're
that.
going from Toledo to Montreal.
Yeah, I mean, at least that's a little bit closer,
Yeah, but I mean, it's still flying out of Detroit, have to bus to Detroit, fly out, and then all that.
Yeah, but I mean, they like how many times Toledo and Kalamazoo play each other? It's like they're playing
Exactly.
every week. It's like, come on, and somebody new to lose to, could you, Kalamazoo? Like, fuck. See if Wichita wants to come up and
Well, they haven't posted our road games this year yet. They posted our home games, in our second and third game of the season. We're playing Florida in Wichita.
there you
And
go.
I'm like, second and third home game, we're playing Florida. And I'm like, fuck. Now that they lost, I'm like, God, are they going to just be pissed and want to come out and just bully us starting next year? Or are they
I
going to
think
just
they-
be,
They might just be kind of happy that they get a sort of longer break. They've
Yeah, I
been in
know.
the championship the last 3 years. They won it the last 3 years.
yeah, no, but that's what I liked, is that if they win it again or they went to the finals, then they'd be like, less time off and be a little more tired in the beginning, and like easier game maybe.
Oh yeah, it's true.
Now they're fully rested and pissed off.
They got a good goalie, a good NCHC goalie over there, Cam Johnson. I think he's still with
Yep,
Florida.
he's still down there.
You've had some battles with him in his North Dakota days.
Oh, I did. They didn't go well, but I had some.
Hey, you got some wins in that building. You went on
Yeah,
started a
after
10 game
after Cam was gone.
10-game winning streak in that building.
Yeah.
Do you ever look at your record and like see like the goalies or like even like who you played against in college and you see where like their career goes and you're like, played against that guy in college back when I was better.
Sometimes with guys like with players and stuff. But again, like other times I don't even realize it. Like it was so different. It's so different compared to like at least when I was at school, there was no like nobody looked at the game sheet to like or not the game sheet, but like the roster sheet to like who on their team is their best. Like you knew it, but you didn't look at and kind of like know the names of everybody on that team. You were just kind of like, okay, keep an eye out for number 6, number 12, and number 11. Like other than that, those the rest of the guys are meat and potatoes. Those are their big 3. You're like, oh, okay. And that was what we did. But like, and then when I got to like start playing pro, there's like the roster sheet out, and I'd see everybody looking at it like, okay, he's this guy, like this is a good guy, like this is a good player. He's on this line. Like, yeah, it's not necessarily like all 3 on this line. You got like these 2 guys are good, and then there's like a kind of a filler, and it's like sprinkled in. And I was just like, okay. So then I started picking up on it, and you started to be like, oh, it is a little important to look at the roster and know who's on the ice and what they're good at. And so it was like a learning curve for me anyway, because like Andy never prefaced that, like never made that a big deal of all things that you would think that Andy would. All of the other moronic things we had to do and whatever, that was not one of them. Not to like look at the roster sheet and see who scores, who's got assists, who's whatever, who's got like a plus 20 rating, or like who's a dash guy. Like there was none of that. Whereas then like I turned pro, and they're like, hey, look at the roster sheet. Look who can we expose? Like who's this? And like, oh, all right.
I wouldn't be surprised if they still didn't do that, to be honest, because if you listen to like the press conferences and stuff, they're so like, we don't really care who the opponent is on the other side. We're just going to prepare our way, and we're going to prepare our game and to play our game. And I've heard that like the way First does it is he tries to, if a meeting can be 5 minutes, he's going to make it 5 minutes. He's not going to sit there and watch every bad play that the team had, or even every good play that the team had. Maybe he picks 1 or 2 from the other team.
Yeah.
But his focus is really just more on like, what can we do with our game as opposed, and maybe at some points, maybe they do preface the fact that like, all right, Zeev Bugham's on the defense for the other team. He's going to be out there quite a bit. Like, stay away from him, or if you have an opportunity, make a move on him, because Western really didn't seem to back off on anybody. And I think both times, and Mike might be able to back this one up, but I think both times we played him in like double overtime, he was kind of the reason Denver lost. Bump skates around him in the NCHC tournament finals.
Yep.
And then I think the puck goes off his stick to Owens for Owens to bury the double OT winner in the semifinals of the NCAA tournament.
That one I don't know. I was sitting too far away in the arena to
but
be able to tell who that was.
I'm pretty sure like the play goes Constantini, Bouillon breaks it up, and it goes off Bouillon's stick to Michaels, and Michaels rips it from the slot glove side and beats Davis once again glove side, because I think all 6 goals that Western scored on Davis after the regular season of NCHC play were glove side and were goals.
Let's see here. OT, the first OT winner was Washi's goal was.
They were all glove side. Even Sharp's goal was. Bump's first goal was. Washi's is kind of because it's a weird, like, he doesn't get everything on it, and the puck kind of rolls on him and it bounces off of Davis's glove and
Well,
over his
that
head to
one was
make it
going
3-3.
5 feet over the net. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm exaggerating, but he like sticks his glove way up there, and
Yeah.
he doesn't do anything. It doesn't go in.
Right. So that one's the only one. It's not like a clear glove side shot, but everything else was bumps. Game winner to make it 4-3 was, and then the goals in St. Louis were too. I think.
I feel like there might have been a blocker side one in St. Louis, but I could be wrong. That'll have to be looked at later.
Yeah, because I know Shingothi gets. Well, I mean that's the final. But Shingothi gets the tip in the finals. Who's?
Yeah. That was the first one. That one went blocker on whoever the Russian goalie was for.
It was Kessler. No, not Kessler. Damn it! It was Kramer and Michaels scored in regulation. Then Michaels got the game winner, right?
Yeah.
What? I know you
Well,
somehow are
I
not
mean-
loved enough.
If you wanted to put money on any goal that we scored in the Frozen Four, just put it on Michaels because he scored 4 of them. So
Yeah, he had 4 goals, and Alex Bump, constantly picked as the best player on the team, had 0 points in the tournament. But made plays
Sometimes
in other
it's
ways.
those-
like I'm not saying like he was
No, I get you.
invisible.
I was going to say sometimes it's those unsung guys that just
Oh yeah.
somehow make it happen.
And I mean, that was really Western all year. It was not, you didn't have like Ethan Frank or Jason Poland scoring 26 or 30 goals. It was all the lines. It was freshmen coming in big situations from time to time. It was established guys coming in and scoring goals. I mean, Tim Washi had 8 game-winning goals this year. Like fifth-year senior
I think
guy.
he had 11 the whole season or something like that.
He had 8 on the season. He had 11 for his career.
Yeah.
But 8 is the new single season record for game-winning goals.
Wow.
Well, no, I'm saying total goals this year.
He had
Washi had
14, 16, 14, 16?
it was something crazy. Like most of his goals were game-winning goals.
Yeah. He had. That's not remotely close to what I typed. Do. Again, this is why there will never be a good bar discussion anywhere. You can just look everything up.
You can just Google it.
Yep. The internet really just killed bar discussions. So you coming back up for the golf tournament? Because it might be hard to get in. Everybody's apparently coming back for it.
I think I'm going on vacation again.
You just,
They seem to they always do it like right around my birthday, which is always right around when my family goes on our vacation.
16 total goals, 8 game-winning goals. So half of his goals were game-winning goals.
Oh. Oh,
What do you want? Can I help you, sir? I don't want to.
Through these 4.
Get out of here. Don't make noise at me. I'm looking at
I
these
got
goals.
mine. I got mine looking at me at the door. Like, when are you going to take me out here?
I think we can call her. We're almost at an hour and a half.
All right.
You need to let the old
Yeah.
puppy out.
Yeah, I gotta let mine out. He's looking at me like, "Hey, I gotta go."
I do appreciate you making the effort to
Yeah.
come back after, I had to cancel last night. I hate having to. Oh,
Yeah,
that was
it's
a
all
5-hole
right.
goal. Kramer's was 5-hole. Off the draw. So not everything was glove side. That's good.
I think Bump had 2 in that game, glove side.
Yeah, in the Frozen Face-Off game, yeah. Both of his were glove side.
Yeah.
But in the NCAA, the semifinal, Kramer's goal looked like it went 5-hole, which was probably like one of the only shots to beat him 5-hole. But yeah, so we'll call it there. Again, thank you, gentlemen, for stepping in for the other
Yep.
Mike who decided that trivia at a bar was more important than hanging out with 2 awesome hockey people.
Yeah, I
not myself
appreciate being
included
it.
in that. So, Trevor, is always great to talk to you, and hope to do so again in the future. Hope your
Oh,
career
yeah.
continues to be successful for you.
Yeah, hopefully.
Hopefully you'll get back with Wichita, and maybe they'll put you in more games instead of just holding you out until the last month of the season and then being like, hey, play every game and also get us into the playoffs, could you? While we have
Yeah, pretty
zero
much.
defense around you. That'd be cool if you could do that for us. So
It's always fun. Makes it interesting.
and as Kansas City fans, apparently think that you like broccoli. So
I still don't understand that one.
I don't either, but I think I'm just gonna reference it every time that you're on the show now. So until someone from Kansas City lets us know what that means. Anything else fun? There's YouTube stuff that I suppose you could do if you felt like it. I'm not going to force anyone to do anything they don't want to. Pucks on net, good things happen like Go Horns and Fight Songs. Until the next episode. Maybe with another mic. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I don't know when the next one.
Well,
I think it's the off
we can
season.
get lots of mics if you want.
We can have as many mics on an episode as Western Michigan has Zachs on the team next year. There are 5 of them. Think about that. Well, until the next episode. Bye.